This report changes the entire narrative around the Dodgers. What the heck is Brad J talking about it? What a big day it was yesterday, man. The trade deadline and the Dodgers making some moves. A lot of complaining going out there. A lot of negative Nellies. A lot of doubting Thomases out there on what the Dodgers did. And I'm just going to remind you of a few things as we get into the meat of the story, because in this, I'm going to break down all the injuries, all the returning players for the Dodgers. I'm going to break down every single player that the Dodger got in this trade. We'll talk about them and everything else to go along with it. Hey, Dodgers Digest, giving you the info all in one spot. You know the deal. Subscribe, like, trying to hit that 8,000 mark, and we're going to do it. Trust me, with your help. All right, let's get into it. This report changes the entire narrative around the team. What does Brad J mean by that? Well, what camp are you in? Are you in the camp that this was the worst trade deadline in the history of the Dodgers, or are you in the camp that there's a lot of returning players coming back and the Dodgers are going to be all right? What camp are you in? Because it sure shows the divide in the comments. On my yesterday's video, I haven't been harshed so bad since I left the toilet seat up, and my wife got on me for that, right? That's how bad it got. All right, let's get into the stories. Let's get into the moves. Here were the moves right here. Here's all the moves, excuse me, that happened yesterday. Dustin May traded to the Sox for minor league outfielders James Tibbs III and Zach Errand, right? There you go. So traded for those guys. Brock Stewart acquired from the Twins for James Outman. So Outman is out, man. Alex Call acquired from the Nationals in exchange for minor league pitchers Eric Swan and Shalpon, Lennon or whatever. And Hunter Fiducia traded to the Rays in a 3-team deal that also involved the Reds for Ben Rotvet, also Paul Gervasi, and minor league left-hand pitcher Adam Siranowski. So that is basically how it broke down, all right? And I brought that up on the show yesterday, what the trades were, and I was lambasted. I was harshed. I was told, Brad J, you're an amateur. You're an amateur commentator. You're an amateur analyst. I was asked, what are you smoking? Here's the deal. Do you remember what happened during the offseason? Do you remember? What did all the teams do during the offseason? Did the Dodgers just sit there? Did they? Did the Dodgers just sit there in the offseason and absolutely do nothing? Why do we take for granted the fact that the Dodgers won the offseason by acquiring the players? And you could say, oh, they're hurt. This guy got hurt and he's out, Brad. It's not fair. Baseball's not fair, right? No crying in baseball. So you have to look at it this way. The Dodgers spent a ton of cash in the offseason to acquire players. That's what they did, right? And that was the smart thing to do. Couple players got injured. They're out. All right, that happens. But still, do you expect them to make all kinds of noise at the trade deadline when they have all these pitchers returning back and all these hitters? Let me just go over the injured list and their return dates so we can just kind of keep this straight, right? Because I took a lot of heat yesterday. And I'm fine with it. I actually like it. So Snell is back on Saturday. So shut the front door when it comes to Snell. He's back on Saturday. Sasaki, mid to late August, okay? What's that, 2 weeks, possibly 3? Okay, 3 more starts. We can deal with that, especially with Snell in the mix. Not a problemo, right? Okay. Muncy, next homestand, he's back. Okay. Kim, mid-August. Tanner Scott, no, please. Tanner Scott, mid-August. Gratterall, September, possibly. Maybe earlier, but September, possibly. Kopech, late August, right? Kike, September. River Ryan, possibly September as well. So those are the injured Dodgers coming back, right? So why do you make some massive splash and go and dump a bunch of money into people that's not going to pay off? That is why you have to look at that. You have to take that into consideration when you're looking at what the Dodgers needed to do in the before the deadline. They're all coming back. So say what you will on that. All right, let's get into the trades. And enough ranting on that because I'm having a little too much fun on that. All right, so Brock Stewart. Let's talk Brock Stewart. All right. Now, I was harsh in saying he's just an old guy. He can't do anything. Look at him. His career is a 4.48 ERA. Oh, my gosh. Yada, yada, yada. Do you realize what they're trying to do with Brock Stewart? He's not there for long term. Hello, McFly. He's not there for long term. He's there as a rental for 1 year, possibly 2-year option, and you got him for $280,000. You can find that coin in your couch. I mean, if you got a lot of money, you could. Now let's address the clubhouse chemistry. The dude has it. He's been a Dodger for years. He knows what it's like to be a Dodger. And if you discount that, that is absolutely ridiculous. You cannot discount the clubhouse chemistry and knowing what it's like to be a Dodger. The 1 year, 280 on the pay. Come on. How is that a bad one? When you need relievers, how is that a bad one when the dude is pitching 2.38 ERA? I mean, let me back up some stats on the Brock man, all right? Take a look at these right here. This is what he's done so far, right? This is this year. Career, it shows the 4.48. Right now, 2.38, okay? Not bad. 41 strikeouts, 39 games. Love to see that. All right, so let's keep it going. Let's look at last 30 days for Brock. What's he done there? Last seven. What's the number there? 0.83 whip. Look at the numbers there, right? Look at them all go down. Look at the ERA. 1.50 last 7 games. Last 15 games, 1.38. Last 30 games, 1.69. Come on. How is that a bad deal for $280,000? I just don't even understand how someone could call that a bad deal. Anyways, that's how I feel about that. All right, so let's continue. Now, there's also, Ben Rotvet, right? Ben Rotvet's a catcher. They picked up, 27 years old. Look, he's the third catcher for the Dodgers. That means he's not getting to play in the big leagues. I don't think here's the one thing I don't like about that trade right there is because when you do want to move Will Smith and you want to move Will Smith to third base at some time to make his career last longer because he can't be a catcher forever and he's a good third baseman, right? Once you move him there, then you only got Dalton because Ben Rotret is not going to be a guy that's going to be brought up after that. So to me, on Ben, okay, I get that, right? All right, let's talk about Paul Gervais, right? That guy. Let's dive into what he's all about here. Okay. So what has he done so far? And you look at his average. Here's what I like about him. 25 years old, 6'10". So he's lanky. So dude can throw. 4.26 is the ERA. Only pitched 6 innings with 6 strikeouts. So strikeout per inning, whip 1.74, right? Okay, so I look at that, at the age, 25 years old? 25 years old. So there's a guy that could help down the road. And, maybe you're taking a chance on him, but you didn't give up a lot to get him, right? So you got to look at that the way it is. James Tibbs III. Let's talk about James Tibbs III. What's that guy all about? Well, first of all, he's an outfielder. Dodgers need outfielders, right? The guy's 22 years old. Does have some pop, 13 home runs, 75 hits. His average is about 240, but once again, 22 years old. Can that change? Dodgers see something in him, so I like what they did. Alex Call. Let's look at Alex Call. What is Alex Call all about for the Dodgers? Take a look at this. I like Alex Call. I think this is a good move for the Dodgers, too. 197 at bats, 274. That's his average right there with 3 home runs, 26 RBIs, 1 stolen base. That's almost 200 at bats. I'd like to see more out of the home runs. But look, the guy's 30 years old. Is he in it for the long term? I think the Dodgers got a good guy right there with a guy he's a career 242, but actually hitting 274 right now. That's pretty good. Dodgers see something in him, and they obviously like that. So I think that's a good move. Alex Call, good move. I'm going to do that too as well. Zach Erhard, right? Outfielder, 22 years old. The dude is batting 267, 23 stolen bases, 322 at bats, 46 walks, 23 dubs, and 86 hits. 22 years old, a fresh outfielder for the future for the Dodgers. You got to replenish the farm system. If you're going to drain the farm system, you got to replenish it. Zach Earnhardt fits that bill. Adam Siranovsky. Let's talk about him. Lefty, 21 years old. His career is a 4.06 ERA. And I got harsh for mentioning him like, oh, he's got a 4.84 ERA right now. Okay. So he's 21 years old. He's a lefty, right? Do you realize how important lefties are? So a young lefty in the system that you might see something in down the road, like if you're left-handed and you can throw somewhere in the 90s, you pretty much almost have a job in the MLB, right? As a left-handed pitcher. Dan Duffy story. Grew up in the same area as me. Left-handed pitcher for the Royals, right? Dan Duffy, you know what I'm talking about. His dad was a coach for the high school team and tied his right arm to his body. So he only used his left arm. He made him a left-hander because he was a coach and he knew that left-hand pitchers are always in need in the MLB. So that's why that happened, right? So those are the trades right there. You can say what you want on all of them, but you have to remember this. What did the Dodgers do in the offseason? Went absolutely bananas, went huge. You got a ton of returning players. You replenish the farm system. So, hey, don't be mad, bro. This is what the Dodgers are doing. And another thing, they are not hitting right now. Do you think all these guys are just going to stop and not hit ever again? Do you think Mookie Betts is just, oh, I can't hit anymore? No, it's not. Paez, no, it's not. Freeman, Shohei, no. They're going to, as bad as the offense has been, that we're still in first by 3 games over the Pods? Come on, man. Come on, man. So think about it. Is your glass full? Is it half empty? A lot of you guys some half empties. Some of you get it. I've seen some great comments on people who get it, but the rest, come on. Wake up. Smell the roses now, right? The Dodgers did what they needed to do in the offseason. You have a ton of returning players all coming back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 players. What, half of them pitchers coming back? The Dodgers did what they're supposed to do, all right? And the Dodgers need to do what they're supposed to do tonight. Kershaw on the mound. The return of Snell tomorrow night. Snellzilla. Let's go. You know what to do. Subscribe, like, turn on notification. Rant over. Brad J. out. And remember, as you go through the day, think Dodger Blue. And let's go Dodgers.